Board members, we are moving backwards to agenda item number 8. This is the Standards and Assessment Committee report. We will turn time over to Chair Earl.
I'm just not used to this. Thank you. We are going to start with R277476. Let me read the motion. The motion before the board is that the board continue and approve R277-476 Local Innovations Civic Education Pilot Program Draft 2 on second and final reading.
Excuse me, this is 8.4. You said draft 2, is that correct?
Yes.
Just double checking.
Yeah, I'm making sure I've got the right thing. Yes, that's what I have.
Did draft 2 come out of committee or draft? I've got draft 1, that's why I'm asking.
Oh.
What came out of committee?
They might have updated, there were a couple of things they updated, but let me double check on my thing. I know that, give me just 1 second. Is it draft 2? It is draft 2. I'm getting a confirmation. So if it's on your agenda is wrong, I apologize. It is draft 2 that came out.
Perfect. Just
Yep.
making sure.
Yep,
So
thank you.
the motion before the board then is that the board continue and approve R277-476 Local Innovations Civics Education Pilot Program Draft 2 on second and final reading. Board members, let's vote.
Member Green is a yes.
Thank you, Member Green.
Are we good? Are we still waiting for people?
Now we're good. That passes unanimously.
Okay.
Back to you, Chair Earl.
Okay, the next motion before the board is that the board approve R277700, the elementary and secondary school general core, draft 2 on second and final reading.
Thank you. The motion before the board is that the board approve R277-700, the elementary and secondary school general core draft 2 on second and final reading. Member Bollinger.
And I can, do you want me to speak? There were some questions, and if I don't get this quite right, Member Bollinger can address those, around a couple of pieces in this draft. I checked with staff, and let me just be specific about what the questions were around. There is a half credit for class. We added another half credit, so it's a full credit for the, I'm not got the right narrative here. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull it up so I can be exact for everyone. The bottom line is it says half credit for one, half credit for the other, which really equals the full credit. It was an addition of additional half credit this year for the civics class, right? I asked staff, do we need to combine that into one credit and have it labeled a specific way? The only thing is, and I think we're probably going to see legislation this year, is that we will, I think Representative Welton wants to use, maybe put in law, half of those, those half credits could be used for some other, like a debate or something, I can't remember, yeah. But I asked if we needed to convert that into one, and they said they would prefer it be left separate, and that the way it's cataloged or whatever, it should still, it'll be clear. The other question that came up was there's a question around the 9th grade. The courses are not intended to be taken in 9th grade. The 9th grade item in there is to start with the cohort. Next year, that group will be the one that has to take the credit. It's not intended to make the class a 9th grade course, and when they put it into the course catalog, is anybody here? The course catalog, am I saying that right? It'll be a course that will be looked at in 10th, 11th, 12th. It will not be cataloged as such. So the concern that all these 9th graders, before they've taken some other courses, I think it's not going to be, it isn't going to be into, the probability is slim. I don't know if that made sense to everyone, but those were the questions that were brought up. Staff felt that where we're at, I tried to get a hold of Representative Welton to see if there was additional clarity, and I wasn't able to get a hold of him. But as I conveyed the concerns to staff, they felt like we're in this is still, the way it's put in the course catalog will allow for prevent the very things he's concerned about, if that makes any sense. That was a lot of information. But if there's if anybody wants to make an amendment, we can do that. I feel like we've adequately covered it, and if we need to, we can make further changes. So.
Okay, so just to reiterate the motion, I see Member Bollinger is back, has her light on. But to reiterate the motion is that the board approve R277-700, the elementary and secondary school general core draft 2 on second and final reading. Over to you, Member Bollinger.
Thank you, Chair. And maybe I can direct this to staff possibly, but I did have an opportunity to connect with Representative Welton, and the concern that I had, and the reason why I reached out to him, is because the way that this rule is written, it says American constitutional government and citizenship 0.5 units of credit. The way that the code reads, so HB 381 specifically says 1.0 credits of the American constitutional government and citizenship. And I understand the intent of what, or the understanding is that U.S. government and citizenship would be half of that. And I just wish that that's how this was reflected if we had it say American constitutional government and citizenship 1 credit, including the 0.5 of U.S. government and citizenship. So I'm not sure how to word that. So maybe staff can help address that for us, and how we can clarify that for LEAs, but that is something that Representative Welton was concerned about.
Robert Austin, Humanities Coordinators, Secondary Social Studies. I really think, I totally understand that kind of concern. I think that I don't foresee any confusion on the part of the LEAs regarding the 0.5 for U.S. government and citizenship, and then the other 0.5. We have actually a couple years of implementation and conversation and education to make sure that they're aware of that. The only nice thing is the 0.5 and 0.5 will allow the flexibility for some LEAs to provide half that year course, possibly in the junior year, and then the other half in the senior year, or as a full year course in the senior year, depending really on staffing, flexibility, local decisions regarding that course.
Yes, back to you, Member Bollinger.
So is the intent then to allow LEAs to choose when they want that other 0.5 to be taught? Because my other understanding, talking to Representative Welton, is that he didn't want it to be taught until after American history was implemented, which means they wouldn't be able to take it their freshman year or their sophomore year with that other 0.5, either world geography or world studies.
Yes, my assumption would be that would be the case for LEAs, that they would be looking. In most of my conversations with school districts, they're looking at the vast majority of students would take this course in their senior year. U.S. government and citizenship originally was created to be an entry into voting and into the civic responsibility, which is why it was dedicated to be at the senior year, and 80% of students take it during their senior year. I don't think that will change, although because it's going to move to a full year, there may be some staffing challenges, and so and just in terms of students kind of being able to have flexibility regarding their schedules, I would see that there could be some students taking half of the year or meeting that requirement through some of the other requirements, which is what Representative Welton was also looking at. Things like debate course is meeting some of those requirements, and that would possibly be met in their junior or senior year. I don't foresee this occurring prior to the junior year. We can make the course code consistent with specific grade levels, so it's only available for specific grade levels.
One more follow-up.
Sure.
Would it be helpful if, as we're working, because I know that Representative Welton was going to take back and make a little bit of cleanup on this as well. Would it be helpful if it said 0.5 of U.S. government and then 0.5 of American constitutional government, and then would that be helpful in code?
It's possible. I really don't think. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we could certainly clean it up when he's looking at cleaning up some of the legislation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see some lights on here. Are there proposed amendments, or are we commenting on this rule here? If there's proposed amendments, I'd love to jump somebody and get ahead here. But if not, then we'll go with Member Lear, or Member Earl, then Member Lear. Member Lear, go ahead.
It's just, and so, yes, this is just a comment. There are other rules that allow students to take those classes whenever they want. I mean, so we can pretend that we're putting them in senior year or junior year, and maybe 95% of the students do that, but technically, ninth graders can take Calculus 5 or whatever, no matter no matter the desires. So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pretending in some of these designations for senior year, junior year. Am I wrong, or is it more recommended, or?
Yeah, I mean, the No. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Board Member Lear, at least the practice is that in most LEAs, U.S. government and citizenship is seen as a course that has been traditionally taught at the to seniors. So I would imagine that as much pretending as we're doing, the reality is that the practice will be the vast majority of students will be taking it later in their high school careers. I will only say that there are some people who would argue that sooner is not necessarily counterproductive to their civic learning to have it at a 10th grade level, for example.
Of the flexibility. Thanks.
Member Earl. Okay, the motion before the board then is that the board approves R277-700, the Elementary and Secondary School General Core Draft 2 on second and final reading. Let's go ahead and vote. Member Green?
Is a yes.
Thank you, Member Green. And Member Hall, are you with us?
Yes.
What's your vote, Member Hall? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. You got it.
Member Hall's a yes.
Thank you. We got it. Okay, that passes 9 in favor, 5 in opposition. Those opposed being Member Brinton, Member Davis, Member Carey, Member Bollinger, and we have one abstention. That changed, sorry. It passes 8-4, 1 abstention from Member Reel, and then the no votes, which were just read out, including Member Boggess as our 5th no vote. Back to you, Chair Earl.
Our next one is R277707. So the motion is that the board approve R277707 enhancement for accelerated student program, draft 1 on second and final reading.
Thank you. The motion before the board then is that the board continue and approve R277-707 Enhancement for Accelerated Students Program Draft 1 on second and final reading. Let's vote.
Member Green is yes.
Thank you, Member Green. Member Hall?
Member Hall's yes.
Thank you, Member Hall.
Sorry.
That passes unanimously with those who are with us. So 13 in favor, 0 in opposition. Back to you, Chair Earl.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve R277736 Juvenile Court or Law Enforcement Notice and Information Dissemination, Draft 2 on second and final reading.
I'm going to ask for clarity just again because mine says draft 1. I want to double check that draft 2 did
It is
come out
draft
of
2.
committee. Okay.
Staff confirmed that a little while ago with me. They printed me a new copy.
Perfect.
To make sure it's accurate.
So the motion before the board then is that the board continue and approve R277-736 Juvenile Court or Law Enforcement Notice and Information Dissemination, Draft 2 on second and final reading. Let's vote.
Member Green is a yes.
Member Hall is yes.
Thank you, Member Green and Member Hall.
Oh, yeah. Yes, thanks. I forgot to do.
Gone. Okay, that passes 12 in favor, 1 abstention. That abstention coming from Member Bogus. Back to you, Chair Earl.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve the combined science of reading SOR and R277406 early learning program and benchmark assessments rubric and as an incorporated document, draft 1.
The motion before the board is that the board approve the combined science of reading, SOR, and R277-406 early learning program and benchmark assessments rubric incorporated document, draft 1. Let's vote. Member Green?
Member Hall's a yes.
Thank you, Member Hall.
Member Green is a yes.
Thank you, Member Green. That passes 12 in favor, 1 abstention, 1 no vote. The abstention coming from Member Brinton, the no vote coming from Member Bogus. Chair Earl.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve R277406 early learning program and benchmark assessments, draft 1 on second and final reading.
The motion before the board is that the board approve R277-406 early learning program and benchmark assessments, draft 1 on second and final reading. Let's vote.
Member Hall's a yes.
Member Green's a yes.
Thank you, Member Hall and Member Green. And that passes 13 in favor, 1 in opposition. That no vote coming from Member Bogus. Chair Earl.
The motion before the board is that the board approve R277326 early learning professional learning grant program, draft 2 on second and final reading.
The motion before the board is that the board continue and approve R277-326 early learning professional learning grant program, draft 2 on second and final reading. Let's vote.
Member Hall's a yes.
Member Green's a yes.
Thank you, Member Hall and Member Green. That passes 13 in favor, 1 in opposition. That no vote coming from Member Bogus. Chair Earl.
Yes, the motion before the board is that the board approve the Box Elder School District School Counselor to Student Ratio Plan.
The motion before the board is that the board approve the Box Elder School District School Counselor to Student Ratio Plan. Let's vote.
Member Green's a yes.
Member Hall's a
I
yes.
can,
Thank you, Member Green and Member Hall.
yeah, I did. Thank you.
That passes unanimously. Chair Earl.
And just a little clarification on this. We asked for some additional information from this particular entity, and they did send that on, and so that's in your backup. And so with that, the motion before the board is that the board approve the Syracuse Arts Academy School Counselor to Student Ratio Plan.
The motion then is that the board approve the Syracuse Arts Academy School Counselor to Student Ratio Plan with the additional information provided by the school. I added that. I
Yeah, yeah.
apologize.
No, I could throw that in, but
Okay, that's
That
the
was what they
motion.
did
Let
for
it
us,
be
yeah.
done.
Yep.
Okay, let's vote.
Member Hall's a yes.
Member Green's a yes.
Thank you, Member Hall and Member Green. That
and
pa-
might I add to the record that I think that was the quickest standards and assessment report out.
Let me call out, that passes 13 in favor, 1 in opposition, the no vote coming from Member Bogus. Back to
Okay.
you, Chair Earl, to report that that was the quickest
I mean,
ever.
I'm not, just saying. You all owe me cinnamon bears or something. I
We're
don't
going to put you at the end of exhausting rules every
know.
time.
So, no, actually, I just have to say the other bodies have done an exceptional job on the things they had to. We just had a heavy lifts. We didn't on
Agreed.
this. So.
We've done some good things today, I think, so appreciate all the board members' work and commitment here.